tears will flow for one.
Bloodborne 2!
It looks like Bloodborne, but due to international copyright laws, it's not. Still, we should run like it is!
Bloodborne!
Though it isn't.
And all of a sudden, just like that, the value of Xbox Game Pass just skyrocketed. I can't believe what I'm about to say, but Nintendo just made Sony and Microsoft look like the good guys today. This all but confirms to us that GTA 6 will indeed be a $100 game, as Nintendo finally ushers in, well, I don't know why I say finally, but Nintendo returns us to an age where video games range anywhere from $80 to $100, which was commonplace back in the day, but we are living during a digital era, one where the base price is now $80. Ooh. And if you want physical, that's even more, as Nintendo has put physical editions of games at $90.
We f you up, man. We chase the money.
This is pure insanity, and it's hardly justified. Not that it needs to be justified, because regardless of the prices, regardless of Nintendo's greediness and how they artificially inflate the prices of gaming while their games look, 10 years outdated, people are going to buy it because people love Nintendo. They make great games. I don't know if they make games that are worth $90, but they make great games. So the Switch 2 Direct finally dropped, and overall it was, in my opinion, a solid 9 out of 10, easily outclassing anything Xbox and PlayStation have put out, which is to be expected because we've been waiting a long time for this. The thing is, as soon as the Direct was over, post-nut clarity hit, and Nintendo revealed the prices for everything afterwards, which is only a problem to people who, realize the actual value of products, and not a problem for those who recklessly spend on things. But let's go over everything that was shown and everything that was revealed to us. If people are allowed to half-ass their videos and get more views and subs than me, then so am I. We open up with what is essentially a Mario Kart / Forza hybrid, an open world Mario Kart game, which, I don't really have much to say to. I've never really been sold on Mario Kart. I've only ever played it drunk at parties, and that's about it. But what we have here looks like a massive leap forward from its previous iteration. The concept of being able to drive across multiple zones in an open world endlessly with free roam adds a layer to the Mario Kart experience that, I can't deny, does make me a little interested. We already knew this game existed, but now we know even more. It's Mario Kart, it's good. What else is there to say? It seems like a worthy iteration, not just another game with slight changes. This is a huge leap forward for the franchise, and will definitely probably be the most popular title on the device. Then next, we get a look at the Nintendo Switch 2's latest scam. Features, sorry. Features, not a scam.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Game chat, that's right. Finally, after nearly a decade of having to deal with Nintendo's incompetence with the Switch 1, where it had no built-in voice chat features whatsoever, and instead they made you download an app on your phone that let you talk to other players in the most inconvenient, improper way possible, they decided to do the unthinkable: build the microphone into the Switch. Now I know what you're thinking, hey, that doesn't seem like a bad idea, until you realize, how's that gonna work with video game music playing in the background loud, you sitting 5 feet away from your TV, and possibly multiple people speaking in the room at once? Nintendo promises and reassures you that you will sound nice and crisp, but I don't believe it. That mic looks like it's going to sound like pure AIDS. The fact that this company is trying to impress me with what is the most basic technology that has existed in consoles since online gaming was ever a thing for consoles is hilarious. Oh, but they give you a little more than that, okay? They let you now screen share with other players in what looks to be like 15 FPS. Oh, and you can attach this gimmicky little camera and show yourself on screen. Yeah, that's right. No actual built-in camera on the Switch. Now, these features are welcomed, don't get me wrong, because they were missing from the previous Switch. But the problem here is that this is locked behind a subscription. That's right. If you want to party chat, if you want to call your friends, if you want to share your screen, you can't do it right out of the box with the thing. You have to go and pay for an online subscription to have access to any of this, which is incredibly egregious. Like, this is seriously pushing it, and I don't think people realize how much Nintendo is pushing it. They have figured out how to monetize the most basic gaming essentials, and people will praise them for it. It's laughable to me that basic requests out of a basic device are locked behind a paywall. It is definitely anti-consumer, and you're paying for something that's essentially free on all other major gaming devices. They try to make it look cute and everything, but I'm just watching this part of the direct and thinking, my God, they finally done it. They finally realized that built-in features in their device can be put behind a paywall. So fully expect Microsoft and Sony to follow suit. This shit is an outright scam, but I can't get too hung up on it because we got more. Luckily for us, the next thing that they have to show is pretty nifty, and I would say for the most part, pretty pro-consumer, and that is Game Share. A feature that allows you to play and share games with someone who has a Switch right next to you, even if they don't own it. And it supports up to 3 devices and is compatible with even the first Switch. In my opinion, this is a great way to let someone next to you preview a game, and it might convince them to buy it. I see the marketing strategy here. I see why this exists, and it's nifty. Next, we're given a rundown of the Switch hardware and its capabilities, and honestly, I'm kind of impressed here. 7.9-inch screen, 1080p, can support up to 120 hertz. It seems Nintendo finally listened to all the criticism of their games running at 25 FPS and took it to heart, as well as the new dock being able to support up to 4K, and now has a built-in fan to keep it cool because I remember how hot the other one I had got. Still a little sketched out about the magnetic lock system. I mean, it looks like you could easily break your Joy-Cons if you handed them to your kids, but it also does seem a lot easier to use at the same time. Still disappointed that the Joy-Cons themselves look very uncomfortable to use as individual controllers for 2-player modes, but there's not much else to say other than it's bigger and better, and that's good. And of course, one of the features being that you can use the Joy-Cons almost like a mouse, which will be very useful for first-person shooters. I think this is actually really cool, and might actually be one of the system's most underrated features when it comes out. And last but not least, the most important thing they showed about this thing is having more than one USB port at long last. And of course, it comes with 256 gigabytes of built-in storage. That should be more than enough for Nintendo games, I believe. And of course, it will be backwards compatible with Switch 1 cartridges, but that's to be expected. So, next we move on to Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, a piece of software you can purchase that, well, basically gives you a tour of the Switch 2. And no, it's not free, you have to pay for it. It doesn't come with the system. That's right, if you want a tour of your Switch 2, buy this. Oh my God. Next, we get a look at the Switch 2 Pro controller. And there's not much to say. It's an enhanced version of the first one, except, you know, it has buttons on the back. Nothing really worth writing home about. Next, we get the release date for the device, which is June 5th, 2025, around my girlfriend's birthday. So I know what she's gonna want, and it's gonna kill me because I don't want to buy it. We're also shown, of course, a Mario Party update for the Switch 2, which, no complaints, I mean, it's Mario Party. But of course, that brings us into the next discussion, which is upgrade packs. That's right. So, you can't simply put a Switch 1 cart in the Switch 2 and expect to see updates like you would for any other device. Enhancements are game add-ons, and you have to purchase them from the eShop. Or it's quote-unquote free if you're subbed to Nintendo Online, which of course would not make it free. These are paid upgrades, which is, of course, a scam. You want 60 FPS? You want 120 FPS? You want 1080p? You don't want to play your games at 720p, 25 FPS? Cough up the dough, pay pig.
I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills, the electric bill, the internet bill.
So naturally, of course, they show you games that will use this feature, and they're titles that you would expect, like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So for those of you who've been waiting almost 10 years to play this stuff at 60 FPS, cough up the money. Your loyalty means nothing to this company. Now, of course, one of those enhanced titles being a title I have very much been anticipating for a long ass time. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. And let's just say Beyond is not the correct title for this game. In my opinion, this looks very outdated, which is disappointing. The good news is that it will support up to 120 FPS, but is that really a shocker? It's a Switch 1 game that looks more like a Wii U game. I know graphics aren't everything, but it's hard not to be underwhelmed. The game just does not visually look like what Metroid truly deserves. It doesn't seem like a next-gen leap forward in the slightest. I know that opinion will ruffle some feathers up, but I'm just being honest with you. Visuals are incredibly disappointing in this title. Nonetheless, I'm still excited because it's Metroid, and it will have mouse controls via the Joy-Con, so that's really cool. Off the bat, what we see here is already a good amount of enhanced titles out the gate. My problem is none of it is free, but when you're Nintendo, why would it be? Nintendo consumers don't understand that what's not free here is free everywhere else, which puts me off and makes me not want to buy the device, but my opinion on this doesn't really matter. But of course, with a new gimmick like the mouse features of this thing, just like with the Joy-Cons on the original Switch, Nintendo has to make software nobody will buy to support this gimmick. So they gave you a new version of ARMS with this wheelchair game that utilizes the mouse that we all know nobody's gonna buy. So next, now where things start to get very, and I mean very interesting, is in the third-party support. Nintendo has been sorely lacking major third-party publisher support for decades, and they open up showing you the best third-party support I have ever seen this company get. Elden Ring being one of the titles, Hades 2, Street Fighter 6, Split Fiction, EA Sports games like Madden, Hogwarts Legacy, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4, Hitman, Project 007, Yakuza, Borderlands 4, Deltarune, that one being the craziest one because Toby Fox made a lot of his music in Undertale sampling Nintendo bits. So I never thought that they would actually say, hey, put your game in our direct. That's insane, but also very much welcomed. It's good to see Nintendo get all this third-party support that they deserved for a long time. It makes the Switch device even more enticing, especially with things like Civilization 7 showing up there, WWE 2K, NBA 2K, Enter the Gungeon 2. Oh my god, I've been waiting for that one. Cyberpunk, goddamn Cyberpunk being on it. Final Fantasy 7 remake. Oh no, the PlayStation fanboys are gonna lose it. It's, oh my god, it's over. Final Fantasy 7 remake on the Switch 2 before the Xbox. Ouch. Well, at the same time, this also lets you know that that game is definitely coming to the Xbox now. Hollow Knight Silksong, it actually exists. The game actually exists. Let's go. As Star Wars Outlaw, I don't give a fuck. Overall, the third-party support is just incredible here. Nintendo really took it to heart when people said there was nothing to play there other than Nintendo games, well, the excuses are gone. If you want third-party support, it seems that Nintendo's taking you serious. So if you like the Switch, but never got one because, you know, the third-party support wasn't there, well, here you go. Absolutely well done display of games coming to this device. But it's not over yet because the biggest reveals happen right after this. And that is, of course, Bloodborne 2! Well, for legal reasons, we're gonna have to call it Dusk Blood. But this is the unofficial sequel to Bloodborne 2 from Software. That's right. Nintendo secured a From Software exclusive. Well, you know, I mean, I game on PC. In the world of PC gaming, there's no such thing as a Nintendo exclusive, but you get what I mean. Nintendo coughed up a huge bag to get Miyazaki to produce a title solely for their console. This is a bigger deal than everything else shown. Nobody expected this. This wasn't on anyone's bingo card. Certainly wasn't on yours or mine. But that's how serious Nintendo takes themselves. I mean, realistically, I'm not a fan of this because I don't believe From Software should make anything exclusive. I don't believe it will be a permanent exclusive either. The news is shocking. To be real with you, I've had my From Software fix for a while, so I'm okay with missing out on playing this for a bit. But that doesn't change the fact that Nintendo secured a major publisher for their platform. We're returning to some sort of steampunk / Victorian era environment for this title. The art style is very much From Software. Enemy design, very much From Software. The only thing missing was bare feet. For some reason, Miyazaki didn't put any bare feet in this trailer. But you're gonna be hard pressed to hate on this. I mean, how can you? It's From Software. The fact that Sony couldn't secure this, but Nintendo did, is very telling. It is easily the biggest deal in Nintendo's history. Like, to me, this is a bigger deal than any Nintendo first-party IP, by a mile. Not enough to get me to buy the Switch 2, but certainly enough to make me envious. As a die-hard From Software fan, I will have trouble sleeping at night knowing Switch 2 users can play this. I mean, I'll probably be able to play it too, but I can't say anything for legal reasons, if you know what I mean. And then, at long last, we end with a reveal that's, not that crazy to me, but very much crazy to Nintendo diehard fans. And I'm very happy for them, and that's because they get a brand new Donkey Kong game. And what's there to say? The game looks fantastic. It seems to incorporate some sort of open sandbox gameplay elements alongside some classical side-scrolling Donkey Kong style. And I mean, what is there to say? It looks fun. But, of course, that's where the fun ends, because as great of a show as this was, and it was a fantastic show, 9 out of 10, easily, Nintendo didn't give you the bad news there. Because once this was over, we quickly found out Nintendo's looking to kill physical media. Many touted physical media as the savior of Nintendo. Then we come to find out that physical games are not only $10 more than their $80 digital counterpart, but we also see this right here. Nintendo game key cards are different from regular game cards because they don't contain the full game data. Instead, the game key card is your key to downloading the full game to your system via the internet. That's right. You will be paying $90 for fake physical editions of video games. What will be there is just for display. What does this mean for it? Does this mean that if the Switch online store ever goes down, all the fake physical media I bought from them won't be accessible? Possibly. Quite possibly. It's blatantly obvious that Nintendo is trying to price gouge you as much as possible into pushing you away from buying physical and instead opting for digital. I don't have a problem with digital only games. I don't think anybody really should, but the problem comes from the fact that digital should never be more than $30 realistically. But Nintendo has figured out a way to make digital games cheaper and more expensive at the same time. For me, this isn't a big deal as I already play my games all digital only on PC, which is the only platform I play on. But in the world of console gaming, and physical media ownership, this isn't good news. A lot of people who love collecting are now solely collecting boxes. Now these carts are only meant for you to insert in as a form of DRM. The game will be downloaded off the store and only parts will be contained on the cart, which is really no different than how Sony or Microsoft are handling it. But this does mean effectively the end of physical media is finally here. This could quite possibly be the last generation to have it. And that should surprise absolutely no one. But Nintendo proceeds to rub salt in the wound by making these $90. I can't stress how ridiculous this is. The cost of game ownership is going up with no actual ownership in place. You will own nothing and you will like it because, well, they're Nintendo games and there's not much that can stop you from wanting to play them. Understandable, but also very worrisome because in a world like this, game devs can charge whatever they want and you will own not a single bit of it. And then on top of that, they want to charge you for the most basic of utilities like game chat or game enhancements and visual upgrades for a device that's supposed to play everything better. Console gaming is becoming a lot more inconvenient day by day. Things like this are probably why Microsoft even created Game Pass. They more than likely saw a future where this would happen and their best way to compete would be to create Game Pass. And it's effective because I'm not gonna buy anything from Nintendo, but I will play on Game Pass because it's easier and it's more affordable. As video games are not a necessity for me, they are just enjoyment. But game collectors, I don't know what to tell you. It's time to find a new job. The Switch 2 looks good, but the future of gaming is looking really, really bad. And if you want to be here to see me rant more about it, then I suggest you like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.
Fritango sucks ass.